Grizzlies have been one of the more young teams in the NBA, and they have one of the best rebuilds in the NBA. Right when they traded Mike Conley and Marc Gasol, they have been going in the right path as they drafted second overall pick Ja Morant, and he's been playing great. And they've also drafted Jaren Jackson Jr., which is also a great young player. And they're already in the playoffs, and they're a really young team that has made it to the playoffs. So, what is next for the Memphis Grizzlies? They have had one of the best rebuilds in right now. And in my opinion, I think they have had the best rebuild in the NBA. Not the most young team, but the best rebuild in the NBA. It's really hard to rebuild, and rebuilding is super hard. So in the future, what should they do? They should not make any wrong steps. So this is what the Memphis Grizzlies should do. So let's look at their franchise player, which is probably going to be Ja Morant. And I think Ja Morant could be a superstar point guard, and he's really explosive and has shown defensive potential. He's a really athletic player for a point guard who can dunk the ball just like Russell Westbrook. And he's also a good playmaker and even a better three-point shooter than Russell Westbrook, as he has 37% from three. He's not on the most attempts, but he shows some promise. And he is a great fit for this team. He just reminds me a lot like Russell Westbrook, but just more clutch and maybe even better in the playoffs. I think he has more potential than Russell Westbrook, and I think he will be better than Russell Westbrook. And I think he's a player that the Memphis Grizzlies should keep. Then there is Jaren Jackson Jr., one of my favorite players in the NBA. He could shoot the three ball really well for a center, even though he has that ugly jump shot. What matters? He's still making those threes. And another thing about him is that he's still playing defense, great defense. And a 3-and-D center is perfect for the modern NBA. He's a stretch big and is perfect for the modern NBA. So, the Memphis Grizzlies should keep him. This would be great for the team. Then there is Brandon Clark. And Brandon Clark is also a great power forward. He could shoot the three ball, and he's pretty good at defense. He's a young player like the rest of these other players, so I think he's great to keep. And per 36 minutes, he's averaging 20 points per game, which is great. But stats don't matter, just remember that. But Brandon Clark is one of the more young players, and he was selected 21st overall in the pick, which is one of the steals of the draft. And he is a great player for the Memphis Grizzlies. Then there's Dillon Brooks, another young asset that the Memphis Grizzlies have. And I think Dillon Brooks is also a perfect role player you would have on a team. He could basically do a little bit of everything. He's like that glue guy. So I really like those type of players, like those Draymond Green type of players. You know, he's that glue guy, and he has more. I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna turn out better than Draymond Green. So I really like how he could do a little bit of everything. A great young player who has shown flashes of potential and flashes of being very, very good. And then you have a lot more young assets, but these are the main assets. They even have more good assets that are very, very good in today's NBA, and they have helped this team win go to the playoffs. That is great. They even have Jonas Valanciunas, a three-point. He's also a good three-point shooter and a good postal player and can play some decent defense. Jonas Valanciunas is a nice veteran for this team, but I don't think they should really keep him because this team wants to go young, then they could trade for a young asset. And this is how their team is, and their team is pretty good, and they've been going in the right direction. Maybe one day they could the championship. But how? How are they gonna make these steps? It's pretty hard to win the championship. Well, the question is, they have a lot of young assets. If you just keep a lot of young players and just stick with that, then you're not gonna win a championship. I mean, it's really hard. Young players don't really have that much experience in the playoffs. Yeah, I said they should trade Jonas Valanciunas, but that doesn't mean they should get some veterans. So what I think is that they have a lot of young assets. They could trade for an all-star in the NBA. That could be perfect for this team. Young assets will help this team because young assets will make them get some good all-star. And don't forget, young assets have a lot of trade value. They have Brandon Clark, Dylan Brooks, and more. They have so much young assets, they could even get an all-star. I'm not saying they have like as much as the Pelicans or the Thunder or even the Knicks, but still, they have some young assets that could develop and they could build around. So, they could even get someone in the draft. And I think they could be a title contender because the future of Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. is great. And if they get a good supporting cast with them, that would even be better. Even if they get someone really good in the draft, that would be pretty good. And if they get a third all-star, or like an all-star already, I think this team has a bright future. They have enough assets to trade for Bradley Beal and more. And I think this Memphis Grizzlies team has a really good future, and they could be future contenders for a championship in long term. And I think the Memphis Grizzlies has the best rebuild this year, and I think they are a really young team that has a lot of potential to contend. And I think the Memphis Grizzlies are a great NBA team. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below if you agree or disagree. And I hope you guys like and subscribe to this video because I work very hard to edit these videos. So please like and subscribe and peace out.